Hi folks, this video is about net neutrality. Gab.Ai, or shit pie I like to call him because I cannot pronounce his true name, wants to end net neutrality. Why? I don't know. I oppose this move because I know the importance of net neutrality. I'm going to assume that most of you know what net neutrality is. We all know that net neutrality is a way of preventing ISP providers from discriminating against certain websites, so they all have to treat all the websites equally. And I guess a shit pie's rationale is that the ISP providers won't do anything like that because of competition, you know. Like, let's say if Verizon decided to censor a couple of websites by throttling them because they don't like these websites. Well, AT&T could use this as the advantage to say like, hey people, we all know that Verizon is trying to censor your favorite website. Well, guess what? We're going to let you go onto these websites and it'll just be as fast as any other websites we like. And all the customers will flock to AT&T, and Verizon could start losing customers because of that. But there's also a chance, which is kind of a legit reason not to care about net neutrality, but there's always a chance where the ISP providers could form a plutocracy and start throttling everything. In fact, they could charge people to use any different websites. Like for instance, YouTube. They can let people use YouTube for like 10 hours, and after 10 hours, they'll go like this: your YouTube trial has sufficiently ended. Now cough up $5 if you want to continue using YouTube. You know, that type of bullshit. I'm against that shit, you know. Everything on the internet should be free. And the ISP providers should go fuck themselves if they are planning to do that. Now, of course, the usual social media or websites like Google, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook are in a uproar about this. Excuse me. They are in a uproar about this situation because they don't want to be throttled, which they see it as a form of censorship. Which is kind of funny because it makes them sound like hypocrites. How can you be against censorship when you fucking censor anything you don't like? Hell, you even support the idea of domain registrars bullying websites they don't like. I mean, websites to censor content they don't like. Which is horseshit. That's what happened to Gab, you know, because they had to censor things because their registered domain keeps bullying them to censor things, threatening to like unregister their domain so they can get them to censor things, which is fucking horrible. Plus, Silicon Valley's been overrun by the SJW bug, so it's a good thing to have alternative tech, or alt tech, I like to call it. Now, one thing I like to point is that the ISP providers can go after alt tech sites like Gab, Minds, and VidMe. Have you even thought about that? Because if they don't like these sites, what I'm saying is that since the brain dead media convince everybody that Gab is a right-wing echo chamber, which is not. They can try to do is throttle Gab because they believe that Gab is a right-wing echo chamber, even though that's not true. So what's the solution to this to prevent ISPs censoring websites they don't like, or government censoring websites they don't like? How about, instead of a net neutrality act, how about an amendment that protects the internet? I think that's better than net neutrality. It's easier and it's better than trying to fight for net neutrality, which is vulnerable of being taken down constantly. So we don't have to constantly fight our government that want to make the internet a jumbled nightmare. In fact, getting rid of net neutrality will turn the internet into a shit wasteland, just like the FCC did to the radio. We all saw what the FCC did to the radio, and I guess the FCC is trying to do the same thing with the internet. I don't know why Trump supported this, because the reason why Trump became president is because of the internet. He communicated with people on social media via Twitter, and to be against net neutrality is a slap in the face. That's why we need a constitutional amendment to defend the internet. Maybe we call it the Internet Neutrality Amendment. Place it in our Constitution and say that no ISP providers or any government organizations, hell, even tech firms, can censor anything they don't like. Everybody is equal to do whatever the fuck they want. And I think that's better than net neutrality. So that's all I gotta say about net neutrality so far, right now. Of course, and I want to say that, sorry I'm not very coherent, but I gotta spread the message about net neutrality and how important it is. So, if you want to hear me talk about shit like politics or whatever, subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on VidMe. You can also follow me on Twitter, Gab, and Minds.com. I'm Wicked Wonka, and I'm signing out.